Feast Week rolls along with women's hoops on California's Central Coast. Tonight, inside Mott Athletic Center, top-ranked South Carolina continues its West Coast road trip with a visit to Cal Poly. Hi, everybody. Great to have you with us alongside the former college basketball coach, Kevin Brown, Chris Sylvester on hand. Pretty unique game tonight with the nation's top team and the defending national champs on the road at a mid-major.
This is a historic night for Cal Poly women's basketball, playing the #1 ranked team in America, reigning national champions, coached by Dawn Staley, a legend, and featuring Aaliyah Boston, returning National Player of the Year. But this is what Cal Poly's Coach Dyers wants: challenge your team, prepare for Big West play, and build a championship program.
Well, top-ranked South Carolina survived in overtime on Sunday night at Stanford, and now wrapping up this West Coast road trip a few hours south in San Luis Obispo, California. Second straight season that Cal Poly has hosted a top-5 team. They had Louisville in here last year, but to have #1, the defending national champs in the house, it's a first in program history and a treat not only for these players at Cal Poly, but these fans as well.
You're right, Chris. The fans are going to experience elite basketball, and for Cal Poly, this is a learning opportunity to go against the best and show what kind of toughness and competitive spirit, resiliency they're made of.
Good crowd on hand inside Mott Athletic Center a couple of days before Thanksgiving. Unfortunately, not many students in attendance. It's a Thanksgiving break week, so many of them in their respective hometowns. We are without the band tonight, but many locals saw that South Carolina, Dawn Staley coming to town. Pretty special to have this team, this program in San Luis Obispo.
Coach Staley, I talked to her, Chris, yesterday at practice, and I asked her, I said, Coach, why did you decide, after playing Stanford, #2 in America, why did you decide to come to Cal Poly? And she said, Kevin, I remember when I was building the program at Temple and Coach Pat Summitt from Tennessee brought her ball club to us. And it's given back. I want to be somebody who remembers what it was to start a program, and I have a lot of respect for Cal Poly Coach Dyers, her vision to build a Big West championship program here at Cal Poly.
And Cal Poly's starting 5 looks much like it did the first 4 games of the season. Already the second-ranked opponent on the docket early in the year for Cal Poly. They also played Stanford up in Palo Alto last week. Glad you're with us. Chris Sylvester, the coach, Kevin Brown, our entire crew. And the game's first shot hits the back of the rim. Kiera Fletcher misses, and Cal Poly comes away with a stop early.
One of the keys of the game will be to box out and limit South Carolina to 1 shot. Nice job by Natalia Ackerman to secure that board.
South Carolina, they were out-rebounded by 6 at Stanford in the overtime victory a couple of days ago. And an early rebound for Aaliyah Boston, who averages a double-double. Zaya Cook down the lane and flips it up and in.
Athletic penetrator Zaya Cook, 2-time honorable mention All-American. She's a crafty ball handler, and you can see she's starting off the game to make a splash here.
13 points, dished out 4 assists. The senior from Toledo, Ohio, opens up the scoring tonight. Cal Poly had an impressive road win at Fresno State last time they played on Friday in the Central Valley. Nikki Kovachikova late in the clock, and a shot clock violation. Cal Poly did not get the jumper off in time. Ackerman held it just a little too long.
It's a business trip here for, there we see in the drive by Zaya Cook. Great use of the left hand.
Now Cook takes a 3. It wiggles out, an offensive rebound for Fletcher. And second chance points put South Carolina up 4-0 early.
She's a Georgia Tech transfer. Coach Staley does at times pick up somebody in the transfer portal. Fletcher's a dynamic scorer, hit some big baskets against Stanford.
Speaking of big baskets, Annika Shah, who's got it right now for Cal Poly, had the game winner with just a couple seconds left in the 1-point win at Fresno State. Career high 13 in that game. Misfires on her first attempt tonight, but Bree Beal couldn't save it in, and Cal Poly will get a second opportunity this end.
So going back to South Carolina, it is a business trip for them. They are here to take care of business, get the win, and continue their goal of a national championship.
Sydney Borland's entry pass taken away by Aaliyah Boston. Fletcher down the lane all the way, and she scored 4 straight for South Carolina.
Too easy defensively. Cal Poly must stop the basketball in transition.
4 early points for Kiara Fletcher, senior from Warren, Michigan. And now she's got the rebound for the Gamecocks. Aaliyah Boston's first touch, and she's got her first points tonight.
Aaliyah Boston, as we know, reigning National Player of the Year, projected #1 pick in the WNBA, Chris. Cal Poly must have weak side help there, or it will be a long night for the Mustangs.
Gamecocks have hit 4 of their first 6 shots from the field after this 8-0 start on the road in San Luis Obispo. Late in the clock again. Jazzy Anusin dishes to Ackerman, a high arcing 3. And Shaw nearly had the offensive rebound. Instead, it's taken by Fletcher.
South Carolina does a nice job in their early transition offensively, always looking ahead to push the ball with the pass. Zaya Cook, a nice looking stroke from three-point land.
Zaya Cook shooting 47% from the three-point line early in the season. Made 45 threes a year ago. South Carolina 36-2. National champions. Cal Poly again works with the shot clock into single figures. Kovačíková off balance and off the glass to Aaliyah Boston. That bounces in, and it's a 10-0 start for the Gamecocks on the road.
Saxton is an explosive scorer. She's good mid-range and also low post. That was a great example of her nice shooting touch.
First points for Saxon tonight. Well, Chanel Steyer's not happy with her starting group tonight. Makes a line change. 5 new Mustangs check into the game.
We talked about this, Chris, in pregame. This is a learning opportunity for Cal Poly. The players must demonstrate competitive spirit, toughness, togetherness, and resiliency. You're down 10-0 early on. Coach Dyers wants to implement new effort and new energy.
Andrea Stajic, again with the shot clock winding down for Cal Poly. Here's Taylor Wu, and she's rejected by Beal. It'll stay with the Mustangs, just 3 to shoot.
Beal is really powerful, long, athletic, can play both sides of the ball. There was another good example of her with the rejection.
And this time Umu Toure has her shot deflected. Kovačíková after the loose ball and unable to save it in bounds. But Cal Poly likes the hustle there.
You know, looking at the floor here, all the players now play hard and play together. One in particular, Sierra Lichty, has shown a lot of effort here most recently against Fresno State. 6 points and 5 rebounds in her last outing. She's guarding the ball, active feet, active hands. She has her hands full guarding Aaliyah Boston there. But yes, she is showing effort there. I know defensively, Cal Poly wants to front the post there and offer quick help.
Well, top-ranked South Carolina up 10-0 at our first timeout of the night. 4:53, first quarter in San Luis Obispo. Opening quarter of hoops. Feast week rolls along. South Carolina, the top-ranked Gamecocks on the road in Big West country, visiting the Cal Poly Mustangs. Glad you're with us. Chris Sylvester alongside the coach, Kevin Brown. And South Carolina, they've hit 5 of their first 8 shots from the field. Cal Poly, they've missed their first 7. Gamecock basketball out of the timeout. Bree Hall seeing her first minutes at a big 3 late in regulation as South Carolina came back to force overtime and eventually beat number 2 Stanford on the road a couple nights ago. Aaliyah Boston, and she's whistled for the offensive foul.
Excellent defense. You can see they're doubling Aaliyah. They're offering help, and that's what it's going to take tonight. They're going to have a pack of wolves mentality and collapse the middle. Excellent play by Sierra Lichty.
First foul on South Carolina, and on the reigning National Player of the Year, Aaliyah Boston, who fouled out in overtime a couple nights ago. Maddie Willett has her shot rejected by Bree Hall.
South Carolina is really long and athletic. It is going to be tough for the Mustangs to get some shots in. Hey, another charge there, Chris. Those are the hustle plays that the coaching staff has been preaching in practice.
Now back-to-back offensive fouls against South Carolina. 4:14 opening quarter. Gamecocks up 10-0 on the road at Cal Poly. Officials will head to the monitor and look at that offensive foul one more time. See if there was any additional contact beyond the common foul. There's the South Carolina head coach, Dawn Staley, in her 15th season. In her playing days, she was an outstanding talent, National Player of the Year at Virginia. Went on to play in the WNBA, 6-time All-Star there. And she's been terrific as a head coach, 2-time national champion, 2017, and earlier this year with the Gamecocks, also the reigning National Coach of the Year.
What's interesting, Chris, Dawn Staley inherited the South Carolina job 14 years ago, 2 wins in the SEC. She has taken this program from 2 wins, last place, to, as you just said, reigning national champions. Terrific story. She's an ambassador, a legend in women's college basketball.
Chanel Stiers in her first season takes over for Faith Mimna, who retired after 25 years at Cal Poly. Spent the last 6 seasons at Cal State East Bay, a Division II program up north, where she won a couple of conference titles in 6 seasons. And much like Dawn Staley, she did spend some time in the WNBA. Taylor Wu lets it go. And another rebound for Beal.
It's a good shot for Taylor Wu. She is a 3-point shooter, transferred from Cal Baptist. Led the team at Cal Baptist with 3-point percentage. 2 quick points by Saxton. They're really have great depth. I mean, they're filled with All-Americans, McDonald All-Americans, all SEC players. It's the reason they're #1 in the nation.
Sierra Lichty, a true freshman, seeing a lot of early season minutes for Chanel Stiers. Commits the turnover, and Cal Poly still trying to find that scoring column, almost 7 minutes in.
Excellent fronting by Sierra Lichty on Aaliyah. There's the dribble penetration and the second chance putback. Ume with the board, secured it. Cal Poly needs to be patient offensively. You don't want to get into a track meet with South Carolina.
Umu Torre is rejected near the rim. Another block for Beal in the early going. The transfer from Butler. One of 3 Division I transfers Chanel Stiers brought in for her first season. And look, Cal Poly, they trailed 12-0 here and without a point for more than 7 minutes, but they've done a pretty nice job defensively early on the reigning National Player of the Year, Aaliyah Boston.
That's right. They're doubling Aaliyah. They're offering quick help. And as you can see here, they're active hands, so that it will be difficult to make that post-entry pass. It's critical to put pressure on the ball, active hands, active feet.
Jazzy Anyusin dishes to the corner. And Torre again rejected by Boston. Last touched by South Carolina.
That's a nice offensive set. Stiers is complimenting his team. Great up fake by Lichty. Strong, aggressive drive. Nice dump in there to Willett.
Boston got the block, couldn't secure the loose ball. And Taylor Wu misfires on the floater. Another chance for South Carolina to run, but the Gamecocks turn it over. Lichty the steal. These home fans anxious to cheer after a Cal Poly bucket. Sin up and under and missed it. Letitia Amihir grabs her first rebound. Played some big minutes off the bench, 28 minutes off the bench for South Carolina in the overtime win over the Stanford Cardinal in a 1-2 matchup on Sunday at a sold-out Maples Pavilion up north in Palo Alto. Cook pulls the trigger and wide right on the jump shot. A foul here against Cal Poly will keep it with the Gamecocks. Like South Carolina, they get a lot of production out of their bench. They return all 5 of their starters from their championship team a season ago, but in that win at Stanford, their bench accounted for more than 44% of their scoring.
That's right, and 44% of that scoring, in addition to the second quarter, they outscored Stanford 20-14 with that second group at Stanford. So you're absolutely right, they played 10 players.
Another offensive foul against the Gamecocks. .90 seconds left in this opening quarter. We'll see if the Mustangs can find the bottom of the net. Kovačíková dumps it inside. It's deflected and taken away. Here comes Cook from the line to the lane. Lay it up, lay it in. And the 2-time All-American scores again, makes it 14-0. Sydney Borland. And off the front rim.
That's too bad. Nice dribble drive by Borland. Fundamentally, jump stopped, under control. It's too bad that little bunny didn't go through the net.
Inside of a minute.
Nice active hands by Onika Shaw. Good midline defense by the Mustangs. I tell you what, they're playing terrific team first defense now.
Well, they have forced South Carolina into 6 first quarter turnovers. Onika Shaw, fresh off a career-high 13 points at Fresno State, skips it to Ackerman. And Cal Poly has points.
Excellent feed. Onika Shaw drew both players and delivered on time, on target. Excellent play.
Shot clock has gone dark. Cal Poly, they've got a couple fouls to give. Let's see how aggressive they perform defensively here. Johnson down the lane, and another offensive foul.
Impressive. 4 charges by the Mustangs. Great defense. Great bounce pass by Onika Shaw there.
Shaw, who was the Mustangs' best scorer last time out, or facilitating, leads to Cal Poly's first bucket in this one. See if they can get another before the end of the quarter. Onika Shaw has to hoist up the off-balance 3, and that's how the first quarter comes to a close. So South Carolina, that #1 defense on display early. The Gamecocks up 14-2 on the road over Cal Poly after 1 quarter in San Luis Obispo. Top-ranked South Carolina up 14-2 on the road over Cal Poly after 1 quarter of hoop. Glad you're with us. Feast Week, Tuesday night from San Luis Obispo, California. Mustangs have the basketball to start the second quarter. Golden One Credit Union, proud to partner with Cal Poly Athletics through donations, scholarships, and grants. Golden One strives to increase educational opportunities.
Excellent dribble drive, aggressive play by Jazzy. Getting the foul line to begin the first possession of the second quarter is huge.
Cal Poly's first free throws of the night. Anderson with a nice ball fake to catch Kiera Fletcher airborne. And Anderson connects on both free throws. Baseline drive, but the shot's not there for Talasia Cooper, and Cal Poly gets the basketball back.
Nice job changing defenses. The Mustangs are keeping South Carolina out of rhythm when they extend it into their zone defense.
Cal Poly forced South Carolina into 7 first-quarter turnovers, but struggled to put the ball in the bucket on this end. Just 1 for 16 from the field. Kovachikova misses the jumper. Ackerman tears away the offensive rebound from Aaliyah Boston.
Cal Poly is settling in here. They're believing in themselves, playing great defense. Offensively, they're patient. Need to get back in defensive transition here. Stop the basketball.
Cooper again attacks and again misses. An offensive rebound. Saxton misses everything. And Kovachikova able to tiptoe the end line and save it in bounds. Here comes Sydney Borland for the Mustangs. Cal Poly fresh off Chanel Steyer's first road win as the head coach Friday night at Fresno State. And already playing their third-ranked opponent of the young season. Opened the year at UCLA, played at Stanford last week, and now hosting number 1. Annika Shah, step back 3, and it's short. A rebound ricochets to Aaliyah Boston. Fletcher into the front court, centers it to Saxton. And now Beal dumps the entry pass to Boston. Mid-post left side, she draws the double. South Carolina works the ball around the perimeter. Fletcher, catch and shoot, and she knocks down the mid-range.
When you have all eyes on Aaliyah, you are going to give up something. And Fletcher stepped to the high post elbow area, took her time. Nice mid-range shot by Fletcher. She's 2 for 2 tonight.
Anderson skips it to Shaw, couldn't get it to Kovachikova, and a steal for Beal. Here come the Gamecocks. Cooper, Euro steps, contact underneath, no whistle. The ball batted around, and it's going to stay here with the Gamecocks. A foul against Cal Poly. Mustang foul on Jazzy Anderson, her first.
Coach Steyer's subbing in a new set of 5. She wants to keep her team fresh. As you can see, the Mustangs are in a stance, active hands, communicating. Unnecessary foul by Torre.
First of 3 games on the docket this week for Cal Poly. Mustangs without their leading scorer, Yulia Neowatsna, nursing a minor back injury, but they do expect her to return to the lineup on Friday when Sac State comes to town. Late in the clock, Beal. Fletcher touch pass to Saxton, and another foul away from the basketball. Mustangs trying their best to contain Aaliyah Boston on the low block. And this time Maya Garcia, the redshirt freshman, whistled for the Mustangs' 3rd foul this quarter. Aaliyah Boston attacks and had it deflected by Garcia. Gets it back, misses again. 3rd time she puts it in. Count it, and a foul. So the redshirt freshman tested as much as she will be in this early season against the reigning National Player of the Year, Aaliyah Boston. Nice job the first 2 attempts, but Boston stuck with it, and a chance at a 3-point play.
Projected number 1 WNBA player. Aaliyah is just a handful underneath the hoop.
She misfires on the free throw. 18-4 South Carolina. Taylor Wu picked up by Talasia Cooper. Maddie Willett on the crossover dribble. Torre flashes the leather, takes it inside. Beal got part of the ball from the backside. Aaliyah Boston, 90 block shots last season, but Beal has blocked 4 shots this first half. And that's now 6 first half points for Victoria Saxon, the 5th-year senior from Georgia.
South Carolina is a very unselfish team. They check their egos at the door. I heard that quite a bit going to their practice, Chris. As you can see, head up, great entry pass to the post in that transition there to Saxton. She's 3 for 3.
Victoria Saxon, top 10 in program history in block shots, offensive rebounds. And tonight her 134th game in a South Carolina uniform. Mentioned all 5 starters back from a 36-2 national champion Gamecock team from a year ago. And we mentioned how happy Dawn Staley's been with her bench in the early season. Fletcher draws the foul, and Taylor Wu commits it. First on the California Baptist transfer from Hawaii. And Kiera Fletcher will take 2 South Carolina free throws.
Kiera Fletcher, she can do it all, Chris. She's really crafty with the ball. Nice dribble penetration in the middle, use of the up fake, and gets fouled here. You know, she wants to work in the CIA, FBI, criminology grad student at South Carolina. That was one major reason Fletcher chose South Carolina, was for that great degree in criminology.
Yeah, she was an 1,000-point scorer in the ACC at Georgia Tech over 4 seasons. But missed all of last year dealing with an injury, closing out her career trying to chase a national champion at South Carolina. Shot clock into single figures. Willett from the baseline, and it rattles off the front rim.
Look good by Willett. She's a very good outside shooter. Those shots will fall for her. Excellent defense by Torre. Great help, great rotation. You can see that the Mustangs are in the midline offering help.
Cooper buries the 3.
Great defense, unfortunately, better offense. Talasia Cooper with the long ball.
Well, Cooper didn't see the floor at Stanford, but she appeared in South Carolina's first 3 games of the season. And those are her first points at Cal Poly tonight. A 23-4 lead for number 1 on the road.
Cal Poly in their drive game. The strategy is to get this shot clock, narrow it down to under 5 or 6, and then be aggressive with the shot attempt.
Cal Poly just 48 in the point column last time, but played well enough defensively to get by Fresno State on the road.
Yeah, that was a huge confidence builder, winning at Fresno State for Cal Poly.
Taylor Wu off the deflection, and Cooper's got the miss.
Olivia Thompson with that 3-pointer. You know, she hit a timely 3 at Stanford. She's a walk-on local player from the area.
Maddie Willett hits the 3.
We talked about Willett. She can stroke it. Great confidence builder. Excellent knockdown 3-pointer by Willett.
88th career triple for Maddie Willett, the senior from Gig Harbor. Aaliyah Boston had the one-on-one matchup and scores again off the glass for South Carolina.
She's the player, no doubt about it. Mustangs need more ball pressure and active hands to eliminate a snap pass right into the post there.
8 points, 8 rebounds early for Aaliyah Boston. Taylor Wu off the shot fake. Dumps it inside, it's deflected. Willett again, hits another 3.
She can shoot it, Chris. 2 for 2 from 3-point range.
Cal Poly only hit 4 triples in the win at Fresno State. They've received half of that total, their last 2 trips from the senior Maddie Willett. Saxton lays it in.
Saxton's having a terrific offensive game tonight. High percentage shot, aggressive drive. She can use both her left and right hand.
8 points this first half for Saxton. Stanford held her in check, only had 2 points in 17 minutes against the Cardinal. Jazzy Anusin with a nice ball fake and has it sent back by Amihir. Letitia Amihir, the 6'4" forward from Canada, registers her first block, and they find Saxton again.
Cal Poly may need to change up defenses. I alluded to that. That may help them to keep the rhythm off guard and go from man to zone. Something to look forward to possibly in the second half.
Saxton's the first Gamecock into double figures tonight with 10. Anusin skips it in. Natalia Ackerman, and she gets tied up with the Mihir. Possession arrow points the way of the Gamecocks. They will have it when we return. 31-10, the defending national champs up on the road. The nation's #1 team, South Carolina, on the road at Cal Poly, wrapping up this West Coast road trip with a 21-point second quarter lead. For the inside scoop on all things Cal Poly athletics, Mustang fans, you won't want to miss an episode of the Mustang Insider Podcast on the Cal Poly Mustangs YouTube channel or at art19.com/shows/Mustang Insider.
Great box out by the Mustangs there. Mustangs are competing against South Carolina. In the second quarter, it is 17-8.
Took Cal Poly quite a while to find the scoring column, more than 8 minutes of that first quarter, but things have kind of opened up a little bit since then for Cal Poly.
They're playing confident and aggressive. That's evident there with Nicky's direct drive with the left hand.
Quite the test for this Cal Poly program under a first-year head coach. 8 newcomers on this Mustang roster, and there's one of them, Nikki Kovačíková, with her first points of the night.
Nikki is a smart, solid, steady player. She's gaining confidence. Great drive there on the right side with the pull-up. Sweet stroke by Nikki.
Saxton dumps it inside, and an easy layup. Ashlyn Watkins, the freshman, seeing her first minutes, has her first points tonight.
Good movement by Cal Poly. The back trim, the ball reversal, extra pass.
Open three, hits the back of the iron. Shannon Carlin misses, but the Mustangs will get it right back.
Cal Poly in their horn set. Great drive by Nikki Kovačíková.
Kovačíková has the last 4 Mustang points. The Ivy League grad transfer from Penn. Started her career in the Big East at Georgetown. Was on the Big East all-freshman team a few years ago.
Regardless of score, the Cal Poly Mustangs are gaining confidence. If they can play like this against the #1 ranked team in America, this will play dividends in the future.
Cal Poly forces the shot clock violation. Annika Shaw got a piece of the basketball, and on the second attempt from Zaya Cook, she missed everything. This was Annika Shaw's game winner at Fresno State on the road last Friday. This was Coach Chanel Steyer's post-game celebration. Pretty cool moment for her.
You gotta love it. Annika Shaw with the reverse layup to win the game. Awesome.
It was Steyer's first win over a Division I program. Lichty hits the three. The freshman buries the triple, and we've got a 16-point game.
Confidence. Team basketball, making the extra pass. Sierra Lichty with the great three-point basket.
And Watkins misses. A nice close to the first half from Cal Poly against #1. 33-17. Gamecocks lead the Mustangs at halftime. Getting ready for the start of the third. San Luis Obispo, California, Mata Athletic Center. The nation's top team and defending national champion, South Carolina, up 33-17 coming out of the break. Chris Sylvester alongside the coach, Kevin Brown. Glad to have you with us. Part of Feast Week. A couple days from Thanksgiving. Always a great time of year for college hoops. Nikki Kovačíková nearly got the bounce on the three-pointer. Bree Beal has the South Carolina rebound. Cal Poly, after just 4 points Or rather, 2 points in the opening quarter. Mustangs were able to put together a nice 15-point second quarter against the nation's top team. Cook around the screen, and the jumper wiggles out. Ackerman falls to the floor, and the possession arrow will keep it here with the Gamecocks.
Good man-to-man defense by the Mustangs. Again, active hands. They're moving their feet, head on a swivel, communicating. Nice job.
What changed between quarter one and quarter two for Cal Poly to be able to score more consistently?
It was more mental. The Mustangs believed in themselves. Their confidence level rose, and they started to say, hey, we can compete.
Cook, catch and shoot, misses again. Long rebound, chased down by Annika Shaw. Kovačíková. Oh, the floater horseshoes off the rim. Sydney Borland had the offensive rebound underneath.
Nice kick ahead by Annika and a great floater by Nikki. I'm sure Cal Poly would like to continue to take those high percentage shots. Really surprised they beat South Carolina down that possession in transition.
Cal Poly, they haven't had too many transition opportunities tonight against the Gamecocks. As Cook scores off the window. She took the first 2 attempts from the mid-range, takes this one to the bucket to open up the second half scoring.
She's a powerful guard. Offensively, she can take it to the basket, mid-range. Defensively, she can guard a 1, 2, 3, and sometimes even a 4. Mismatch here. Great bounce pass to Ackerman.
Late in the clock, Jazzy Anusin, short corner. Launches a high arcing jumper and knocks it down. It's a 3.
Excellent ball movement by the Mustangs. Even better shot by Jazzy.
And Saxton misses the running left-hander.
Cal Poly is doing their job defensively. The goal was to get back and limit one shot and rebound the basketball. They are doing just that.
Tough for Cal Poly to get anything going around the rim, but check this out. Jazzy Anusin, late in the clock, I think she had just realized it at this point. I'm sure they'll review whether or not that foot was on the line, but a nice step-back jumper as time expired on the shot clock.
Excellent step back. Mustangs believe tonight, Chris. Nice curl by Annika.
Entry pass across the lane, taken away by Beal. Beal dumps it in low, and Fletcher lays it in.
Beal is showing why she's a top 50 watch list here for the Wooden Award.
Bree Beal, the senior from Rock Island in Illinois, logged 38 minutes in the overtime win at Stanford at 7 points. Lichty flashes the leather. A lot of time still for the Mustangs on the shot clock. Anusin around the screen, takes it down the lane and misses the layup.
Cal Poly needs to get back on defense as they did. Now they are pushing the pace.
Yeah, Mustangs able to create the turnover in transition. Kovačíková out to Annika Shaw. Lichty dumps it in low. Ackerman had it swatted from behind. Saxton got a piece.
Although her shot was blocked, good offense by the Mustangs.
Saxton's jumper is short, an offensive rebound. Aaliyah Boston. She creates so many second chance opportunities for South Carolina. Now into double figures with 10 points to go along with her 9 rebounds.
One reason Aaliyah is such a dominating rebounder offensively, she believes that every shot is going to be missed. She just attacks the glass.
Lichty misfires from the corner.
Need to stop the basketball in transition.
Cook wide open, buries the 3. And Zaya Cook connects on her first triple of the night after missing her first 3.
That's South Carolina basketball, pushing the pace, delivering the pass to the open person, knockdown 3.
Annika Shaw comes up short, still scoreless.
Beal's head is up at all times.
Foul against Cal Poly will be on Nikki Kovachikova. And just as we saw a couple of times in that first half, 4 fresh Mustangs check into the game for Chanel Stiers, with Kovachikova, Shaw, Anusin, and Ackerman headed to the bench. And we'll see if the second unit, which kind of gave Cal Poly a spark in that second quarter, can do the same here in the third.
This is their time to bring in fresh energy.
Beal's entry pass, Aaliyah Boston was all alone. And she's got a dozen tonight.
I'm really impressed with Beal tonight. Her vision, her playmaking, her ability to take what the defense gives you. She's going to have a bright future in the WNBA.
Yeah, like you said, there's a good chance she goes #1 overall next summer. Umu Torre attacks, hesitates, and draws the foul. So the graduate transfer.
Great pass into the post. No weak side help for Cal Poly. Another 2 by Aaliyah. Umu is doing a nice job here offensively, driving aggressively with her right hand. Using the up fake, drawing the foul. Let's see if she can knock down these foul shots.
Umu Torre has missed the last couple of seasons after making the Big East all-freshman team at Butler a few years ago. Finished first in the Big East at more than 2.5 steals per game as a freshman. Sat out the COVID season and missed all of last year with injuries. Still getting back into the rhythm of things, but Chanel Stiers is really happy to have her veteran presence with a lot of these young players.
Stiers knows how to build a program. She understands how to bring out the best in her student athletes.
Cook lets it fly. Offensive rebound. Second chance for South Carolina.
3-point shots will unfortunately cause long rebounds. You have to check people outside the lane.
Straight on jumper, and Letitia Amihir connects. Played very well off the bench against Stanford. 9.6 rebounds in 28 minutes against the Cardinal in that overtime victory Sunday. Andrea Stajic hands off, and Torre puts up the jumper, but a whistle away from the basketball. And an offensive foul on Cal Poly will give it back to the Gamecocks. On the other side, top-ranked South Carolina. They've scored 11 of the game's last 12 points, up 25 at Cal Poly. 25-point lead for the nation's top team. South Carolina on the road at Cal Poly. Down the stretch of the third quarter on a Tuesday night in San Luis Obispo. California Fresh Market, your one-stop shop for all your party needs. Proud supporter of Cal Poly Athletics. Amihir gets bumped on the low post. And that's the third foul on Cal Poly this quarter.
Letitia is a versatile player, athletic, good post position there. Chris, she has gained a lot of valuable experience playing for the national team of Canada.
Yeah, Mihir actually missed a few games last season while helping Canada qualify for a World Cup berth. Pretty cool of Dawn Staley to give her that opportunity. She understands how much that means to her to represent her home country, Canada, and when she got back, she didn't miss a beat. She was an integral part of helping South Carolina win the national championship.
Coach Staley has knowledge of USA basketball as well. We'll get back to that, but again, you'll see Amiri with the versatility, anticipating, goes in for the steal and the basket. But Coach Staley, I mean, she was a player, a gold medalist as a player, gold medalist as a head coach. So she understands the pride to play for your country, and she allows her players to do that.
Umu Torre tries to weave around, flips up the shot, and draws another foul. This was the transition layup for Letitia Amihir. A nice transition layup for me here, but not quite what we saw South Carolina do in transition last week in a road win at Clemson.
Good hands as Watkins takes it on the break and puts it down!
That was Ashlyn Watkins. We saw her play a little bit in that first half, and she just got the rebound for South Carolina. That was the 9th NCAA women's basketball player in the history of the sport to throw down a dunk, and she just did it last week in her freshman season against Clemson.
You know, there's no such thing as tomboys anymore. These young ladies are athletes. And there's no reason to even compare men and women anymore. These young ladies can do it all.
Now Watkins joining some elite company. Brittany Griner, the all-time leader in NCAA women's dunks. Don Staley has been very vocal in her support, trying to get Brittany Griner back home. She wore a free Brittany Griner baseball cap yesterday at practice and wore a shirt the entire game at Stanford on Sunday in South Carolina's overtime win. 30-point lead for the Gamecocks. They've gone on a 17-2 stretch in this third quarter. Maddie Willett's long jump shot is off the mark. And Cal Poly is going to get in a new 5.
You know more about Letitia. In addition to playing for the national team of Canada, she has a foundation in Africa where she's helping empower children, raising money and empowering children in Africa. Really a great story. Actually, we spoke a little bit. You know, I was an assistant coach of the Ivory Coast in West Africa, so we had a great conversation of how we can build a global world where you have a support and a care for all people.
A lot of these South Carolina players have accomplished a lot off the floor, and they've become a real big deal the last decade or so there in Columbia, South Carolina, where the Gamecocks campus is.
We talk a lot about how great they are on the basketball court with winning championships, but I asked Coach Staley, and she believes in two things before X's and O's, Chris: discipline and building relationships. She believes that's the foundation for winning at an elite level.
Like you said, only 2 SEC wins way back in her first season. She has built them into the premier program in women's college hoops. Probably a handful of years ago you would have said UConn. I don't think there's any question right now it's South Carolina.
Yeah, she's an extraordinary person, not only as a basketball coach, but as a human being. Her goal is to help get her young ladies to become pros in life, whether it is in the WNBA or in other careers. She wants to see them be pros.
7 on the shot clock for Cal Poly. Annika Shaw, and it's a shot clock violation. South Carolina, they've used their hard-nosed defense to kind of put this game away in the third quarter tonight.
There's a reason they're #1 and reigning national champs. They're just a solid team. I mean, they do it all. They play very unselfish basketball, as you can see here, and great team defense, great cross-court skip.
Bree Hall misses the 3, but Watkins keeps it alive. Ami here, back to Watkins, and she lays it in.
Unselfish play, great back cut on the baseline side. Second chance. They're showing exactly why they're #1 in America.
Ashlyn Watkins from Columbia, South Carolina. She was the Gatorade State Player of the Year, McDonald's All-American. Raven Johnson down the lane, throws it away. A steal for Shannon Carlin of Cal Poly, and now the Mustangs can hold for the final shot attempt of this third quarter. A dominant defensive third put together by South Carolina, allowing just 5 points. Kovačikova has it knocked loose into the backcourt. Shaw recovers.
2 seconds remaining.
From just inside half court, it is off the glass. And so we've played 3 quarters tonight in San Luis Obispo. Top-ranked South Carolina pulling away from Cal Poly. 4th quarter's next. 4th and final quarter of hoops on this Tuesday night from inside Mott Athletic Center in San Luis Obispo. Top-ranked South Carolina ahead of Cal Poly 56-22. First #1 team in the history of this building to play against the Cal Poly Mustangs, and quite the treat to see the defending national champs in the building tonight. Cal Poly, Shannon Carlin takes the charge, and South Carolina opens the 4th with a turnover.
That's going to make the coaching staff extremely happy. They chart those hustle plays, those 50-50 plays, the charge play. That's number 5 for the Mustangs. That will be what Coach Stiers calls a hard hat reward. You don't play the score at this juncture. You get better possession by possession here and work on your game. You work on your half-court sets. You work on your team defense if you're Cal Poly. Same with South Carolina. They're going to take it possession by possession and work on their game, both individually and as a team.
South Carolina will head home after the game. This is the final leg of their road trip, and a 3-point opportunity for Letitia Ami here.
Johnson made it look easy with that great pass, threading the needle. Letitia is a recipient. She is definitely showing her versatility. She can play defense. She's long, athletic, with that anticipation and the coast-to-coast layup. And now at the foul strip, missed that.
Ashlyn Watkins, the offensive rebound and putback. South Carolina, 41 rebounds plus 20 on the glass against Cal Poly after they were out-rebounded by 6 in the overtime win at Stanford.
Yeah, that last possession down there, Cal Poly must check out the South Carolina outside the lane and retrieve that rebound there.
Kovačikova flips it up, misses everything. Watkins clears it away, and here comes Bree Hall. Gamecocks will return home after the game, host Hampton on Sunday. Then they've got another ranked foe on the schedule. UCLA comes to town a week from now as Watkins lays in the off-balance shot. Look,
Good.
South Carolina, they're legit #1. They've already played and beaten 2 ranked teams. Last season, when they were 36-2, they went 14-0 against ranked competition. They played the toughest schedule in the country. They've got UConn on the schedule later in the year in the middle of SEC play. They've got some tough games next month in December. It's almost something you don't see as often on the men's side of things, with the nation's top team really loading up on quality non-conference opponents.
Right, well, Dawn Staley believes in playing the best, challenging her team, and I think it's great for women's college basketball to have these matchups.
Oh, Taylor Wu gets swatted by Watkins. She had the dunk last week. Wu won't let her have it this time, but she does lay in another score.
Terrific freshman Ashley Watkins. She was a 2022 McDonald's All-American, South Carolina Gatorade Player of the Year, number 12 in her class. She's another special student athlete.
Anderson misfires from the baseline. And here comes Ami here. Letitia twirls and lays it in.
That's an All-American, an amazing spin move, coast to coast.
So Letitia Ami here has 8 points off the bench in 15 minutes tonight. Sydney Borland had her floater deflected. It'll stay here with Cal Poly. We showed you the Watkins dunk from last week at Clemson. This block was pretty impressive too.
She's smooth, she's fluid, just an outstanding offensive player.
Torre has it taken away. Another steal for Ami here. Letitia dishes to the corner. And Fletcher threw it right through her hands. And they'll say Cal Poly touched it last. 21 to shoot for South Carolina. Watkins spoon feeds Fletcher. Ami here watched by Ackerman. Hands off to Bree Hall. Shot clock into single figures. Ami here flashes the leather. Takes it down the lane. Off balance shot. And the foul on the floor against Cal Poly. Second on the Mustangs this quarter.
South Carolina is very fundamentally sound. You can see every time they catch the basketball, they're in triple threat, ready to either pass, shoot, drive.
Well, this game out of hand, these coaches want to see this group work on some things because they know tougher competition is ahead. And in the case of Cal Poly, more level competition is ahead. They'll have Sacramento State here on Friday, San Jose State here on Saturday. A couple of games they feel like they have a great chance to win on their home floor.
Right. Well, let's start with South Carolina. You want to continue to build and keep your good habits. And if you're Cal Poly, this is still a learning opportunity to get better. Coach Dyers is in her first year. She's building a program. She wants her team to get this type of challenge, to play the best and understand what it takes.
Oh, terrific job done by Delasia Cooper to save it in. And it leads to another layup for Letitia Ami here, who has double figures scoring tonight. And all of a sudden, South Carolina is up 48.
You talked about scheduling. Well, Cal Poly has now played UCLA, Stanford, and now South Carolina.
Taylor Wu's shot deflected. Cooper for Bree Hall and another Gamecock lay-in. Just beating Cal Poly up and down the floor right now, and they've let their defense turn into easy layups in transition.
Yeah, you're down by 50 with 5 to go. You don't want to get it out of hand because Cal Poly has done some very good things, as we just saw there. Great drive by Wu. Drew 2 defenders, made a crisp bounce pass to Torre. Now she's going to the charity stripe.
So Cal Poly will get a chance to score some fourth quarter points with an Torre free throw trip. The graduate transfer from Kennewick up into Washington. Back on the West Coast after a 3-year stint in the Big East.
So I went to South Carolina's practice, Chris, and I asked one of the assistant coaches, what makes Coach Staley so special? And she was quick to say, talented yet humble, great communicator, and she labeled her a dream merchant, giving back philosophy with the mission and vision to help her student athletes achieve their own personal goals. And she personalizes relationships. She meets players where they are. Some may need a mom, some may need a coach. She really spends the time to individually meet her students' needs, which is why she is a #1 returning, Coach of the Year last year, and again, possibly a second national championship this year.
Torre with the reverse layup for Cal Poly. I think many around the sport think that South Carolina is the overwhelming favorite, but Stanford's going to be tough. We saw how closely contested that game was. South Carolina actually trailed by 10 after 3 quarters in Palo Alto on Sunday. Had to mount a comeback late. Bree Hall, who had a 3 moments ago in this game, hit a late 3 there. And then Aaliyah Boston tied it up at the end of regulation to force overtime. And South Carolina prevailed 76-71. All Gamecocks tonight in San Luis Obispo, up 50 on the road. Late fourth quarter, San Luis Obispo, South Carolina on cruise control, up 50 over Cal Poly. 2023 Hercules Tires Big West Basketball Championships presented by the Hawaiian Islands. Back in Vegas, March 7th through the 11th at the Dollar Loan Center. With the best seats in the house, Tickets.calpoly.edu or call 805-756-4849.
Good pass by Nikki. Good delivery right to Garcia. Garcia needs to chin the ball up fake when she's going up against shot blockers.
Kovačíková has to hoist up an off-balance look. And here comes Watkins for South Carolina. Tough to crack that Gamecock starting lineup with the 5 returners from a year ago, but this second unit has been terrific for Dawn Staley down the stretch.
Cooper is only a freshman. She's a competitor, long, athletic, also a McDonald's All-American, 3-time state player of the year. So they just continue to bring in elite players. What's that, Chris? Number 6 drawing the charge for Cal Poly. It's a highlight, something to really embrace and reflect on.
Yeah, something Chanel Stiers and her coaching staff have been encouraging and really celebrating in this game. When you take an offensive charge like that, you give your team an extra possession, and when you're playing more level competition, if you're Cal Poly, those extra possessions can mean a lot, especially last time out at Fresno State in a 1-point win.
That's right. Taking the charge will win you ball games.
Annika Shaw floats in her first points of the night right over Watkins. She had missed her first 7 from the floor. Coming off a career performance, 13 points at the game winner at Fresno State. Bree Hall spins, and Annika Shaw whistled for the foul.
Annika Shaw, nice play there. Good high arching, leap and leaner.
Couple free throws for Bree Hall, who played very well off the bench at Stanford. Well, South Carolina, they had trailed much of that fourth quarter against the Cardinal on Sunday. But it was Leah Boston late.
That's where they look. They find Boston. Boston, an open look. Gets it to go. 2-point.
Great baseline out of bounds play there. Threw it above to where Aaliyah can grab the ball and put it in.
And she fouled out towards the end of the overtime session, but stayed in there just long enough. Played a lot of that fourth quarter with 4 fouls and got the friendly bounce up in Palo Alto. Annika Shaw nails the 3-pointer.
She's a real scrappy ball player. Look at her trying to front Letitia. Annika's a team leader, competitor.
Oh, Watkins attacks. And the loose ball picked up by Garcia. And now a foul on South Carolina.
Foul for the Gamecocks. On the line, Kovačíková, shooting 2.
So with Cal Poly in the bonus, these final couple minutes, Nikki Kovačíková takes some free throws for the Mustangs. And South Carolina's going to advance to 5-0 with this win on the road tonight. And as you look at the top 10 in women's basketball, just knocked off number 2. You'll see third-ranked UConn later this year in the middle of conference play in February. But remember, UConn's without the services of Paige Beckers, who tore her ACL in the offseason. She's one of the nation's best players, and it'll be an uphill climb for Gino Auriemma and company without Beckers against this South Carolina squad, and what will be a rematch of last year's national title game.
Well, first of all, Gino will figure out what to do when he loses a player, that's for sure. But those are the big dogs in women's college basketball. UConn, Stanford, and South Carolina.
Officials checking a potential clock issue here. Making sure the foul count is correct. Each team in the bonus now with 5 fouls on Cal Poly, 5 on South Carolina. preseason favorite in the SEC, and as we've talked about at length, many early seasons favorite to repeat as national champions. Kovačíková finds Garcia, and Cal Poly gets a bucket on the run.
Cal Poly still playing the game. Great look ahead, offensive transition. Garcia with the great catch and score. Nice defense by Nikki. Cut her off on the baseline. Turnover.
Look, and while this game is out of reach, these are some very valuable minutes for Cal Poly.
Exactly. You play this game to build a culture, to prepare to win your conference. You can gain a lot of confidence even in a loss when you do outstanding plays here against South Carolina. That confidence is something that you cannot underestimate.
Annika Shah straight on three. It's good. 8 fourth quarter points for Annika Shah. Coming alive late.
Great stroke, great step back. We talked about this. You can gain confidence, which will pay dividends later on in your season.
Some fourth quarter fire from Annika Shah. Now Mihir dishes. Cooper raises, misses. Offensive rebound, Watkins. She's been really good on the offensive glass. Mihir missed it. Cooper's putback won't go, but she's fouled. Now, Annika Shah, we showed you her game winner against Fresno State earlier. 13 points and perhaps becoming a go-to scorer early in this season for Cal Poly.
She can really shoot it, Chris. We got here a couple hours early, and she was the first Cal Poly Mustang to take the floor early, getting shots in. She is serious about becoming a better player. Continuous improvement, which is a virtue for the Mustangs and Coach Dyers.
A rebound for Kovačíková. Just a few seconds separate shot clock and game clock as we wind down on a Tuesday night on California's Central Coast. Kovačíková for three, and it deadens off the back rim. Hall grabs the flat-footed two-handed rebound, and that'll do it. Top-ranked South Carolina adds another to the win total, and they close out this West Coast road trip with a 79-36 victory over the Cal Poly Mustangs. The standard of women's college hoops on a Tuesday night in San Luis Obispo. They are 5-0.
There's some things you can take away if you're Cal Poly, which is learn from the best, compete for 40 minutes, play tough, work on boxing out your man outside the lane, and playing with confidence.
All right, so for Kevin Brown, I'm Chris Sylvester saying so long from Mott Athletic Center in San Luis Obispo, where top-ranked South Carolina rolls 79-36 on the road tonight at Cal Poly. All games airing on the ESPN networks or streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. Good night, everybody.